Friends, as we know, in many companies, there are many laborers who believe in working in the extra shift by not completing their work in the during course of work. And this is how the labor cost increases. It's not always the labor because of whom this labor cost increases and the overtime is incurred, but there are many reasons why it happens. Friends, in this particular video, we are going to know what is overtime and how it has to be treated, what are the drawbacks which we are going to come across, and what are the mm, ways how to overcome this problem. So, let us know something about overtime. Overtime occurs because the worker works beyond the normal working hours. The normal working hours are laid down in the Factories Act. It is according to the Factories Act. According to it, any worker working for more than 9 hours per day or working more than 48 hours per week is entitled for the overtime payment. The Factories Act also provides for payment of the overtime of wages at the double than the normal rate of wages. The overtime work therefore costs unfair and should be avoided as far as possible due to certain disadvantages attached to it, which are enlisted in the upcoming slides. But friends, may it be the labor, may it be the management because of whom the regular work couldn't be completed during the course of time. Anyways, incurring the overtime and paying the double rate of wages definitely is unfair so far as the labor cost is concerned. So let us know what are the disadvantages and what are the reasons. Overtime is always disadvantageous, it is unfair, it is unfavorable so far as the company's total cost of product is concerned. It adds to the labor cost. Now, what are the disadvantages? The first and foremost is it leads to an excessive labor cost. Friends, as we know, we are required to pay double the normal rate of wages to the overtime hour. Naturally, the productivity per hour is going to remain the same and the payment which is made against that productivity is double the rate. It leads to the excessive labor cost. The second important disadvantage is that during the overtime hours, per labor productivity diminishes or decreases because of diminishing labor efficiency. As we know, friends, throughout the day, in the normal course of time, the worker works. He applies his efficiency, he applies his productivity. And after that, when he works for an extra hour, naturally, the productivity which he could give in the first hour of his working cannot sustain in the extra hour of that overtime. And the efficiency goes down. So, second important disadvantage is the labor productivity decreases due to diminishing labor efficiency. Third important disadvantage is that it puts an extra strain on the plant and machinery. We are using the plant and machinery throughout the day. And even after our working hours, we are additionally using the capacity. Naturally, this is an extra strain which we are putting on the plant and machinery. Fourth bad effect due to the overtime is it leads to bad health of the workers. Friends, as we know, the person has one's own capacity of working. Naturally, if he is working beyond that capacity, he is using his potential of physics for working for an extra hour. not only physical capacity but also mental capacity, naturally it is going to hamper his health. And this is another bad or disable so far as the overtime is concerned. Fifth disadvantage or evil which we are getting because of the overtime is certain overheads such as lighting cost increase because the work is continued in the extra hours, that is in the evening or in the night. This is an addition to the overheads, and because the overhead cost increases, it increases the total cost of production as well, and thereby it increases the price of the product as well. Fourth important disadvantage which we are getting is workers may develop the tendency to work in the overtime because they are going to get the double the normal rate of wages, and take your overtime wages as a part of their normal earning. It's worse, friends. Many people, what they do is they keep their normal work for the overtime work. They don't work during the normal hours and keep their work specially for the overtime because they are going to get the overtime double rate of the normal wages. Friends, this tendency may increase because they know that in a month they are going to get at least these many hours extra, and they take it as if their normal working hours and normal earnings. This is highly worse. Last but not least is if overtime work is not properly distributed among the workers, it may lead to the discontent. Few people are allowed, few people are not allowed. Naturally, there is a dissatisfaction arousing amongst the workers. So this is another disadvantage which may lead to sometimes the go slow work, or it may hamper the productivity of the workers and they believe in not working during the normal course of action. So these are few disadvantages which we come across so far as the overtime is concerned. Now let us speak something about the treatment of overtime. Payment of overtime consists of two important elements. Now what are they? One is the normal amount of wages which we are going to get. That is the rate which we are getting for the work which we are doing in the normal course of time. And second important is the additional amount paid for overtime work, that is the overtime premium. The additional amount which is paid for the overtime work is also known as overtime premium that we are getting. This is over and above the normal amount of wages. The normal amount is charged to the cost unit or production order on which the worker is working. The difficulty lies in the treatment of the overtime premium. This overtime premium is charged differently under the different circumstances as we are going to discuss now. Friends, we can charge this overtime premium as a direct cost directly to the prime cost, or we can charge this in the production cost or other cost as per its increment, and we will include it in the production overheads or factory overheads, or whether we are going to charge it to the profit and loss account. Let us discuss one by one the situations and the charge which is applied either as a direct or indirect or otherwise. So the first is charge to jobs as a direct cost. When the overtime is worked at the request of the customer due to the urgency or emergency of work, and the customer agrees to bear the entire charge one time, it should be charged directly to the job or work order consent. Second is charge to the overheads. When overtime is payable due to general pressure of work or seasonal nature of production, it should be charged to the overheads. The third important is the charge to the costing profit and loss account. The overtime is required to be paid due to abnormal factors many a times. It is such as flood, fire, earthquake, etc. And due to factors like defective planning or faulty management, it should not be charged to cost, but to the costing profit and loss account. So the way to incur the overtime premium on a certain head, whether it is the part of direct cost or indirect cost or overhead, or it is going to be shown in the costing profit and loss account. The circumstances change, the application also changes. As we know, the overtime is not good for the organization. It is always evil-some, it is always unfavorable, unfair so far as the extra burden of cost is incurred. In order to keep this overtime premium to the minimum, proper control must be exercised on it, and some of the steps are required to be taken. So, the first step which we should take is that all the overtime work should be duly reported, duly authorized by the works manager. Second important is overtime cost should be properly recorded for each department for proper planning in future. Friends, as we know, we are supposed to know whether all the departments are properly manned or not. If they are properly manned, then why are they required to incur the overtime or exercise the overtime? In case they are getting excess burden of the work under those circumstances, yes, they will be required to work in the overtime. But if they are not excessively burdened of so far as work is concerned, naturally, why are they required to incur the extra time for working? That has to be analyzed. Third important is total overtime premium should be regularly reported to the works manager. The works manager is authorized. He has to grant or he has to sanction who is going to get how much overtime, and also he is the person to whom the reporting should be done so that he can levy proper controls on the work. Fourth and important is when overtime becomes a permanent feature. A permanent feature, I said. Say, for example, due to the shortage of plant and machinery, steps must be taken so that we can install additional plant and machinery. We can increase our production capacity and introduce the additional shift to cope up with the additional work. It's not always the worker who is intended to go for the overtime. Many a times we are falling less. So far as the production capacity is concerned, we are highly demanded and the capacity is less. Naturally, we are required to either increase the production capacity by increasing the plant and machinery, or we can work in the additional shifts in case we are not doing that. And this is how we are in a position to save ourselves from the overtime work. So these are a few steps which are required to be taken so far as the overtime burden is reduced, and thereby the labor cost is controlled. Thank you so much.